we're going to stay with quarterbacks, and we're going to go to the West Coast and talk about San Francisco 49ers backup quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Over the past few weeks, he's been taking a knee during the national anthem as a stand against police brutality against blacks. And it seems to be a movement that's spreading. And the latest show of support was from a group of over 100 middle school and high school students from the Oakland Unified School District's honor band. The band recently played the national anthem during an Oakland A's baseball game. And as the song hit the crescendo, they knelt and continued playing. And the crowd loved it. They applauded. What do you think about Kaepernick and what he's doing, his protest, and how it seems to have been spreading across the NFL and even outside of the NFL?
I applaud Kaepernick. This is a guy that's had a tough time in his career the last couple of years, right? This is a guy who was supposed to be the next Joe Montana when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. He's been a backup for the last couple of seasons. Not easy to do. That's not easy to do. And what he has done is for him to go out on a limb here and really take a stance. I really applaud what he's been able to do. And it's been a domino effect. We've seen other players in the NFL, specifically with the Miami Dolphins, taking a stand. Look, the state of this country right now, there's a lot of bad things that are happening in this country. And I think that there are a lot of white people who have a closed-minded view about what's going on with law enforcement and the way that black people, men and women, are getting treated in this country. And it's happening at an alarming rate. And it disgusts somebody like me, where when you're seeing it week after week in incidents from Charlotte to Oklahoma, all the way out to California, all over this country, even here in New York when we had the incident out in Staten Island a couple of years ago. This is something that continues to happen and continues to happen. Look, I think that there's a lot of great police officers all across this country. At the same time, and I'll finish with this, there's also a lot of police officers, both men and women, white police officers, that are shooting unarmed black people, and it's continuing to happen over and over and over again. And for people, specifically, like I said, white people that are saying that they should be no, they have a right to go ahead and sit for the national anthem when there are a lot of things that are going on in this country right now that are just completely unacceptable.
Correctamundo. Howard University in Washington, D.C., their cheerleaders took a knee during the national anthem. Instead of doing their cheers or whatever they usually do, they took a knee in support of Colin Kaepernick. When the officers who killed Eric Garner in Staten Island, what they were doing was they were trying to get overtime. So the shift was nearly over. They wanted to make some extra money, and so they figured they could harass this guy, and it just went bad. You have to have respect for the people in the community, and the people in the community will respect you. What about the cop who was playing basketball with the kids in Florida, and then he went and got Shaq, and Shaq joined them? And people were complaining in the neighborhood about these kids making a lot of noise. And this guy said, the cop said he'd rather have the kids out there playing than doing something else that was destructive. And it became, people gathered around them and rallied behind them. So it's the individuals. They are bad and there's good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel as though we're almost in our second wave of civil rights movement, and Colin Kaepernick his stance has really showed, and I think Mike touched on it, where America is, and we're not as progressive as we think that we are, because he took a kneel, which he has every right to do. Veterans fight for our rights to peacefully protest, and that's what you're doing. That's what he's doing, and that's what everybody else is doing, but they're being criticized and called un-American and ungrateful because the veterans fight for this, but they're exercising what these veterans fight for. And it's getting really a little in a gray area because it almost seems like patriotism is the new racism. Instead of focusing on why he's kneeling, they're focusing on just the symbolic act. And I feel as though, it's time, these times are not becoming comfortable anymore for white people, because brown people are standing up and they're voicing their opinions, which is their right, and you have the majority who wants to control how they say, what the message is, how they say it, how to protest, and I feel as though it's never a right time, it's never comfortable for anyone to protest, because if you go back to Martin Luther King, he marched peacefully with his followers, and dogs were sticked on them, water hoses, and here we are almost, we haven't gotten to water hoses and dogs, but we've got Twitter fingers, and everybody's just voicing these hateful messages. So, I appreciate him willing to take the stand, and I don't criticize him for the timing. So some people say, well, if he was a starting quarterback, he wouldn't have done this, and all, you know. But he seems to be very genuine in his mission, and we'll just see what happens from there. But hey, guys, don't touch that dial, because when we come back, we're talking about my New York Giants, the New York Jets, the Mets, the Knicks, the Nets, and the New York Liberty. So stay tuned.